We're working on number 2 right now in our math class, our 3.4 notes. Remember that this is not something you have, it's something we do together, and you'll be able to go back and reference later if you need help. Okay, so let me pull up my projector for you guys. We are going to be working on the distributive property today, and we briefly went over it yesterday and talked about how the distributive property is when you're multiplying two numbers, and we break down that larger number into, we kind of do expanded form. We break it down into our place values to make it in more manageable parts. So we're going to be practicing that right here. Okay, so right here, we're doing the multiplication problem 8 times 15. Okay, so instead of doing 8 times 15, we're going to break down that number 15 into more manageable parts. So we're going to, like I said, do expanded form. We're going to spread it out based on its place value. So here we have 8 times 15, and we break up that 15 to 10 plus 5. Okay, we have our tens place plus our ones place. All right, so now what we do after that is we distribute. Okay, we're going to distribute that 8 into the tens place and that 8 into the ones place. So now I've got 8 times 10 and 8 times 5, and I'm going to add those together. Okay, so see, I've got 8 times 10 plus 8 times 5, and that makes it a lot easier. 8 times 10 is 80, and 8 times 5 is 40, and that's going to be 120. Okay, we see right here, they give us a little visual of what we just did. Last year, you guys worked on showing your multiplication with arrays. So we do 8 15 times, right? But they break that down into 8 10 times and then 8 5 times. So that's basically going from this to this, okay? 8 times 15 was this whole piece right here, but 8 times, and then when we separate it, we separate this and this to make it more manageable like that, okay? Fill in the labels of the model to show how you can use the distributive property to find the product. Okay, so I've got 5 times 12. Now here they didn't break it up in place value. They just broke it up into two numbers that add 12. Maybe this person doesn't know what 5 times 12 is. They don't have that times table memorized, but they do have their 5 times 9 table memorized, and they do have their 5 times 3 memorized. So they broke it down into parts they could manage. Okay, so this number 12 gets broken down instead into 9 plus 3, because 9 plus 3 is 12. And then we distribute. This 5 gets distributed to the 9. This 5 gets distributed to the 3. 5 times 9 is, 5 times 9 plus 5 times 3. And that's going to be 5 times 9 is 45. And 5 times 3 is 15. And now I can add those together. Okay, so it's going to be 60. And we can use the model to find the product. So here, they didn't even give us the original number. They already broke it down for us. So we just have to distribute. Okay, so I'm going to distribute my 7 into this 7 and my 7 into this 5 right here. So I've got 7 times 7 and 7 times 5. Okay, 7. Oh, and right here, they want me to put what this would be. So 7 plus 5 is 12. 7 times 12. Seven times. Oh, okay, so this is this, and they want us to do these already. So 7 times 7 is 49. And 7 times 5 is 35, and then we add those. That's going to be 84. Okay, and then another way that we can do it is with subtraction. Okay, so this is a little more difficult. Some people do this because multiplying something by a 10 is a lot easier than doing 10 and the 1. So we'll talk about what that means, okay? Here's our example. 5 times 85. So this person's thinking in their head, okay, if I do the distributive property, I'm going to have to break it down into 5 times 80 and 5 times 5. And maybe he want to make it easier. It's not really easier. Sometimes it will be easier. Right here, it comes out exactly the same because they're still doing 2 tens. But you can do subtraction. So right here, instead of doing 5 times 80 plus 5, they're doing 90 minus 5. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing. You're going to distribute 5 times 90. Okay, and you're going to distribute 5 times 5. And this time you're subtracting. So you need to make sure that you have a subtraction problem right there. So 5 times 90, we do the box method like we did yesterday. 45 and add 1 0, and 5 times 5 is 25, and this time we're subtracting, so 450 minus 25 is 425. Okay, so we're going to try it over here on our own. Okay, so here's the number we're breaking down, 56, and what they did, instead of doing 50 and 6, they just rounded up to that 60, right? And we're going to have to subtract whatever we need to subtract to get to 56. So that's going to be 4, okay? 60 minus 4 is 56. Okay. Now we need to distribute 8 times 60 and 8 times 4. So I have 8 times 60 minus, make sure you have that minus because it's a minus sign here, 8 times 4. And now I multiply 8 times 60. Remember to just box this off right here. 8 times 6 is 24, and then I add 1 more 0, minus 8 times 4 is 32, okay? And 240 minus 32 is going to be 208.